Welcome back to Metropole TV, the first 24-hour news business channel here in Kenya and East Africa. This is The Smart Investor. I am Ali Khan Sachu, and we've got a great guest here with us in the studio, Laura Chite. Thank you for taking time out on a Friday. I know that we were discussing what you might have been drinking and eating, and me too as well. But thank you for coming through.
Thank
Laura,
you.
we were together at your very successful FinTech Summit at the Kapinski. I sort of spent quite a bit of time, and I was really impressed by first of all, what you're putting together, the richness of the conversation, the types of, whether it's a small startup to a big company. Really big congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ali.
What were your takeaways from that? Because you got a chance to really look up close and personal, right, at what's going on, disruption, fintech, techfin. Tell us a little bit about what your impressions were and what your takeaways are.
So, first of all, Ali, thank you for having me on the show tonight.
And
thank you very much for your support at the FinTech Summit.
Yeah, pleasure.
CIO East Africa is actually was holding the second FinTech Summit like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, this is the second?
This is the second
Yes.
one. The first one was last year, and there was a lot of learnings from last year. Obviously, financial technology is a big thing today
Yes.
in the world. And what we realize is that there's a lot of innovation happening, and with this innovation, there's disruption. So the theme for the FinTech Summit was innovation and collaboration in the financial services industry.
Yes.
Because the way we look at it is that we've reached a point where the innovation is causing so much disruption. Where does that leave your traditional financial services industry? Okay? And the financial services industry, look at these guys as competitors. What we're trying to say to them is collaborate with these guys so that you create a better engagement model for your customers.
So just to stick with that theme, this whole idea, when I think a lot of people, particularly in Kenya, we tend to look at it as a sort of scarcity. It's us versus them. This idea where you collaborate across borders, where you're collaborating with human capital, do we get it? I can understand the fintech people getting it because they have to, otherwise they won't have a business. But do you think the legacy businesses, the legacy banks, do they understand that?
And actually, it's very interesting you say that. They don't. They don't understand it. And I think it's based on two things. They are everybody is comfortable in their old ways of doing things.
Yes.
Why fix it if it's not broken? Okay? But the truth of the matter is, if you look at the audience or their customers, their upcoming customers, it's the youth.
Yes.
And these guys love technology. Okay? Now, the same people who are in fintech are building solutions for themselves. And the solutions are based on their experiences with the legacy business people. So it's reached a point where they cannot be ignored anymore. They are the masses. Okay? So if you ignore them, you will keep losing more and more. And then besides that, don't forget we have this other big movement coming up called SACCOs.
Yes.
So this whole financial services industry space is actually very interesting. And the only way anyone can survive is taking up technology. So in as much as you're an old bank and you have your 50 or 60-year-old chairperson as the chair of the board, you must make sure that technology is the core of your business. The chair of the board, and the responsibility comes from the top. If the board does not understand the role of technology, then it's going to be very difficult for the bank to survive. You ran a session that talked about winter is coming.
Yes, yes.
Okay?
Well, when I saw that title, I was my mind was going everywhere. I was thinking of the deep midwinter. That was a fascinating discussion.
Exactly, it was. And when we thought about this session, we're thinking about two things. What's the role of technology and innovation, okay? Or what's the role of fintechs in the process of mergers and acquisitions?
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, if you're going to merge or if you're going to be acquired, how is technology going to help you survive? Okay, if two big banks are coming together, what is the role of technology there? Because here we're talking about customers from here and customers from there. By the time you understand the customers from Bank A and your Bank B was acquired Bank A, how are you going to understand all those customers without data and without using technology? Are you going to employ another 50,000 people to interpret that data for you to understand their habits? No. So you must adopt technology and you must look at innovation to survive in such a case.
So from what you're describing to me, you're telling me somebody like the Chief Technology Officer chief customer experience officer, IT, people, that these people are completely key now, right? In terms of your executive suite. If you don't have that bit working, you're not really going to understand your customer, and you're telling me it's mostly young people. And I asked them, I said, have you been in a bank? Half of them have never even been in there, right?
Yeah,
they don't want to go in
yeah.
there. They'll never go in there. So do you feel that the banks that you're speaking to, have they understood that? Have they grasped that? I saw different people seem to be feeling their way. Stanchart kind of setting up a in-house or fintech type ecosystem. What can you tell us about what people are doing to address that?
So basically, what's first of all talking about the technology guys in let's say a bank, data guys in a bank, all these guys. All these guys play a big role from a business perspective. Technology is no longer a silo on its own that is servicing the rest of the business. Technology is a partner to the business. And if you don't get that as an executive, making a decision in a boardroom, then you're lost. You're slowly killing your business. So it's reached a point where if you're allocating budget, if you're putting together the business strategy, you better have the technology person in that room because the strategy will be executed by the technology guys.
That's fascinating.
So if they are not in that room, then you're lost. Okay? Now, think about it this way. You have the marketing guys, you have the customer experience guys, you have the finance guys. How do they engage on a day-to-day basis? They have a laptop in front of them or they are doing something on the mobile. Okay? All of us are working on the move. Right. The customer experience guys collect data every day. A customer has called, they're unhappy about something or they've sent a query, whatever. What is happening with that data? Where does it go and sit? With the technology guys. Who's interpreting it? The technology guys have to enable the customer guys so the customer guys can respond real time to a customer who's unhappy. Okay? The marketing guys, for them to roll out relevant marketing campaigns, need that data. So you can already see technology is a partner to everybody. For the finance guys, they need the data to understand how their business is doing, for them to know what they're investing, whether they're making losses, whether they're making profits, what is going on in the business.
Are we seeing a surge in demand for data scientists?
Actually, data scientists have become the most important role today in any business. The one thing I always ask business people, all this data you collect,
what are you doing?
What are you doing with it?
Because it's fine collecting it, but if you're not able to analyze it, what's the point?
What's the point of it? Okay, and every day, millions and millions of data is being collected. Every day, we send emails, we send text messages. We are analyzing things, we are reading news, we are streaming videos all over the place. What are we doing with this data? You as a business person, what are you doing with this data?
So companies that understand data are going to have a huge advantage.
It's not a joke when they say data is the new currency.
Yes.
It is the new currency because that gives you the competitive edge versus your competitor.
That's right.
Yes. So you must make sure you use this data, collect it in a compliant way.
Yes.
Because remember,
it is very important now.
Compliance with data is important. Okay, this whole GDPR thing is not a joke.
No.
Okay, we need to get serious about it. We need to get serious about cybersecurity because that is people's data you're handling. As you're handling that data and as you're interpreting that data, make sure your audience or your customers know that they are safe with you handling their data.
But having said that, we saw that some of the government websites were interfered with, and then we had a guest here a few weeks ago who's done a cybersecurity report who said, Alikan, there's a ton of money that's going missing because we've got some very sharp characters who know how to navigate these systems. Do you think companies understand the risks?
I look at data protection or data privacy as a company strategy on its own. The ownership must come from the top. Cyber resilience is very, very important. You have to be on top of your game. You have to keep checking. I can tell you this, Ali. The reason why there's always breaches with data is because of individuals.
Yes. Oh, the individuals are the weak point.
They are the weak point. There's always a human being involved somewhere. The question is, how well trained or how much they understand about the importance of data privacy in the bigger picture. How often do you refresh their training? Okay? how often do you make sure that your systems are in place? You can't sit back and wait to react. You have to be proactive. And if you think about it, a lot of the guys who do all this hacking and all that, they're actually kids, students, bored.
Yes.
And they have the knowledge.
Yeah.
So why don't you engage them in a positive way?
That's right.
And give them something positive to do.
You could probably get them to test your system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do it legally.
Yeah. Let them do it ethically so that you're safe, you know. So we need to stop running away from these smart students or kids or you know, whoever is smart enough to help us secure our systems. Okay? As you're saying, they'd rather come in and test it and tell you have a loophole here. Then you wait for them to get into your system just for fun because they were bored at midnight, you know, to get into your system, and then everything falls apart. Yeah. So, you know, we really need to think about our data security strategy.
Let me now come back to CIO. For many years, you're at Microsoft. So you've been in this software technology space for quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, so now at CIO, what is, I saw this fantastically successful summit, premier summit in East Africa, as far as I can see. What are the plans for CIO? You're sitting there, you're the chief executive officer. What do you want to do with it?
So first of all, I'm sure from the way I'm talking, you can tell I'm very passionate about technology.
Yes.
Okay.
But you know what? I've always found if you're not passionate, don't bother doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm very passionate about technology, but I'm not a techie.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a business person by training, and that's what I studied in university. But the thing is, technology is transforming lives. I mean, we are in the 4th industrial revolution, okay? You're either on board or you're not, or it's going to go with you. So from a CIO perspective, what we do as CIO East Africa, we look at technology trends every year. So we do a survey the year before, which is called the CIO 100 survey.
Yes.
When we do the survey, one of the things we ask the technology leaders is, what is your focus area in the next year? Looking at that response that we get, we put summits together based on that. So fintech came out as a hot thing. SACCOs came out as a hot thing, which we did before. We did cloud and security in Rwanda before with the Rwanda government.
Yes, this is, okay, cloud-based. A lot of people are using that now.
The cloud, it's the thing. It's the thing now. You have no choice.
In fact, the turnaround of Microsoft was a lot to do with the Azure, wasn't it?
Yes.
I was reading this article about Satya and how he turned it around. And
So cloud is very important. In fact, I launched Office 365, which is the cloud, the cloud office in Kenya and in East Africa. So, and that changed the whole game, you know, around technology. So we did cloud and security in Rwanda. We were done with that in March. Then we did SACCO Tech in April. Then we did FinTech now, okay? In August, we're going to do IoT and AI, the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. This is about connected devices.
You know, these are like trendy terms sometimes. And we've got you, an expert in your field. So what, Internet of Things, what does it really mean? And what does artificial intelligence really mean?
Internet of Things is basically millions of devices connecting.
All connected. Well,
all connected, right, so all over the place.
I can put my fridge on if I'm walking home.
You start telling it, you
is
know.
Is that 5G specifically or not?
No, it is not. It's already happening now.
Okay.
It's like you today when you come to work, you have a tablet, I'm sure. You have a laptop and you have your phone. Maybe even 2 phones. Okay. Those are how many devices from one person connecting to different apps that you use. Okay. And connecting to the internet. Data exchanging very fast. Okay,
so that's the Internet of Things. It's multiple device connections and like some huge ecosystem. And then artificial intelligence, what does that mean?
So artificial intelligence is basically around how we use this data to make decisions or to make things happen. How, like let's say in the case of manufacturing, how are we using artificial intelligence in manufacturing, you know? How are you moving from point A to B? How are you improving your manufacturing? How are you able to check the quality of what you're manufacturing using technology and things like that? So all these things are important. You'll find that even from a robotics perspective, these things are important. Machine learning, these things are all important. So how do the two come together to improve business today?
So this is the next conference?
This is the next conference that's happening in August. In September, we're going to do something around insurance.
Whoa.
InsurTech. Because insurance companies...
That surely can be disrupted. Every time I get these quotes, it's the same number, 3% or 4%. Come on.
Yeah.
If I'm driving carefully and I should be charged less, right?
Exactly.
Do you think
the point system should
Yeah,
check in?
right.
In fact, you should be getting a text message and telling you,
Yeah.
hey, you've been driving very well for the last 3 months. We have reduced your
Right? I
premium
mean, it
by.
should be dynamic. Can you
Exactly.
imagine? It would improve everybody's driving as well.
Exactly.
Oh, so that's you're looking
Yeah.
at the insurance industry.
So how do we move the insurance industry from old school to new school? It's as simple as that.
Okay.
If I go back and talk about innovation,
Yes.
these kids today, you can buy your insurance on your phone, remove money from your account, pay for your insurance and move on.
Yeah.
Now, what do the traditional legacy insurance companies know about that? Are they
don't.
on board or not?
Yes.
Are they going through their digital transformation? Are they ready? Are they scared? Are they looking at it as a competitor?
Yes.
We don't know. So this is what we are about
Going
to
to
find
be
out at the
discussed.
InsurTech and let them know this is the direction it should be heading. Because I'm
Fascinating.
also tired of calling my insurance agent and
Yes.
telling him, by the way, I've been driving for the last 1 week and my insurance is expired.
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah.
I should automatically get something that tells me it's time to renew,
Yeah.
draw the money from my account, and automatically maybe I get a sticker I print
Yeah.
and put on my car. I don't even need a sticker. Should be digital.
Yes.
You know? So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at from an insurance perspective. And the rest of the world has moved on very fast
Yeah.
on that. It's just that Kenya is a little bit behind. And then finally, at the end of the year, we're going to do our CIO 100 awards,
Okay.
where we award the top 100 companies from a technology perspective,
Yes.
how technology has impacted their businesses. Yes. So that's our
Last
calendar
year,
for the year.
CIO 100, who would have won that?
So last year we had several categories.
Yeah,
So for the
okay.
company of the year, so I'm just going to tell you about the big awards. So for the company of the year, we had Kenya Airways.
Yes.
And then for the CIO of the year, we had George Juguna, who's the CIO for Housing Finance.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So
Oh,
those are the,
interesting.
So
Yeah.
that's, those are the big awards that come out. But we have like 7 or 8 categories where we had the Education Award that went to Alliance High School. We had Hospitality Award that went to Sarova Hotels.
Yes.
We had the Insurance Award that went
But
to
you're looking at
Jubilee.
these in the perspective of the technology experience.
Technology, how it has impacted your business.
Yes.
So when you're putting in your submission, you have to show us clearly the impact of technology to your business. It's not about I deployed this thing. No. Show us. Show us the numbers. Show us what you are trying to address. Did you address it? How long? What was the ROI? It's that in-depth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Laura, it's
Yeah.
been a pleasure speaking with you this
Thank
evening.
you very
we
much.
hope you'll be a frequent guest on our show, and please keep us involved with whatever you're doing, and we'd love to be a part of that as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was Metropole TV. This was The Smart Investor. I am Ali Khan Satya, and with me was Laura Chite, who's the CEO of CIO East Africa. And we both were wondering where her name is coming from. You'll have to ask me on Twitter, and I'll give you some clues. But that will be later. Thank you for watching the show, and have a splendid weekend.